With dystopian planets, advanced tech, mighty beings, and supernatural powers, the Dune universe has everything you can ask from a sci-fi story. With the protagonist Paul Atreides trying to perfect his abilities and move closer to his destiny, Dune regales in both fantasy and space odyssey, giving enthusiasts every bit of action-adventure promised by the books. The fight over the unprecedented potential of spice has gone through many twists and turns, but the one thing missing in this advanced universe is guns. So let's uncover why people in the Dune universe prefer hand-to-hand combat and sword fights to guns, and what is the Holtzman shield.
Come on. Oh, man.
What is the real reason behind such practices? Now, most futuristic worlds use multifaceted guns for advanced military operations like those seen in movies such as Oblivion, District 9, even Star Trek. But Dune takes you back to the modest universe of blades and swords, so it's not all that simple. The Dune universe has some sophisticated weaponry like laser guns, laser beams, different types of bombs, blasters, and even dust. They also have kick-ass choppers, starships, troop carriers, dump boxes, and other high-tech gadgets. And who can forget the scary, monstrous sandworm? But what we don't see is projectile weaponry being used in a fight. Seems like the easiest way of defeating an enemy was not good enough for the Duneverse. Also, given that this is a futuristic universe with advanced technology, there should have been some killer modern guns and cleverly crafted action sequences using them. Yet, the guns are MIA, and it isn't because the writer or the filmmaker wanted to incorporate more hand-to-hand battles and cool-looking sword fights. The real reason is the Holtzman shield. Holtzman was a theoretical physicist existing decades before the Dune universe came into existence as we now know it. His research was based primarily on subatomic particles and their repelling nature. His theory was dubbed the Holtzman effect and became the facilitator of diverse innovations over thousands of years. The theory led to the development of technology like anti-gravity suspensors, floating lights called glow globes, and also the Holtzman engine, which fostered space travel that was faster than the speed of light. But the most prominent among these inventions was the Holtzman shield. Now, the people in the Dune universe were perfecting human armor using Holtzman's research. This armor became an energy matrix encompassing the entire body, giving it a force field. This force field protects the wearer from any object approaching it at significant velocity. This means that any projectile weapon, such as guns, will be rendered useless in front of this bulletproof shield. The armor was efficient even against fast-moving blades and swords. Interestingly, the laser guns and laser beams that the people of Dune had used to shoot lasers were not just useless, they could also be potentially too dangerous. The beams shot by these weapons could result in a catastrophic subatomic fusion when fired at the Holtzman shield, causing a life-threatening detonation. Also, the center of the explosion was unpredictable and not necessarily on impact. It could materialize anywhere in the range, from the armor to the weapon it was shot from, which meant that neither the opponents nor the people in that range could be safe from this disastrous impact. With all these weapons either failing or becoming exponentially more dangerous, the only thing to do was discard them and adopt more clever means to battle the enemy. Almost every person of importance in the Dune universe is furnished with a device worn on the wrist, aka the Holtzman shield. Once activated, this device equipped the user with a full-body shield. In the movie Dune, we can see Paul Atreides activate the shield when training with Gurney Halleck, where all of their quick sword moves don't leave any marks on the other person as the field protects them. So if this shield acts like a barrier against any fast-moving weapon, including blades, how can one eliminate their opponents? The Dune universe does not make it easy to kill your opponents in combat, unless you know the trick. The slow blade penetrates the shield. During training, Gurney Halleck's wise words come with his sword slowly penetrating Paul's shield, and we can see the armor turn from blue to red. The idea behind this was to make the shield porous enough to allow space for air to move across the armor for breathing. This also meant that any slow-moving object could bypass the effectiveness of the field. So, what does that tell us? The people of Dune had no choice but to resort to techniques that would allow the combatants to slowly penetrate through the armor of their enemy and kill them. This is why the field turned red when Gurney's slow blades skillfully pierced the armor and reached Paul's neck. This is also the reason they bid adieu to their guns and other projectile weapons. A fun fact to know here is that because of this technicality, the director of the film, Denis Villeneuve, imagined action sequences to be more like a game of chess. He said that they fashioned the hand-to-hand combats to include a lot of false or fake moves to divert the enemy's attention before the real slow strike infiltrates the shield for the kill, similar to a chess play. The film Dune Dune does showcase some projectile weapons. For instance, the Harkonnens use laser guns to attack Duncan Idaho's chopper as he attempts to escape. We don't really know how it survived the Holtzman shield or what could have been the possible result had it come in contact with one. Nevertheless, Duncan manages to escape without a scratch. Dune Part 2 is all set to release in November of this year, and we are super excited to see how the story unfolds. Meanwhile, we want to leave you with some food for thought. Is it possible for a technologically savvy world to develop a weapon that would slow down the pellets from the projectile weapons? We're leaving the comments section open for discussion, so let's hear your thoughts there. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, be safe out there, and thanks for watching.